They let you go. Or maybe they walked away like it was easy, like you didn't matter, like everything you gave, everything you sacrificed, every version of yourself you broke just to keep them close, was invisible. They didn't look back. They didn't explain. They just disappeared. But here's what I want you to understand. They may look fine now, smiling, posting, pretending they've moved on. But silence isn't always peace. Detachment isn't always healing. And regret doesn't always look like crying on the floor. Sometimes it's quiet, slow, growing, and your glow-up, that's what fuels it. You don't make someone regret losing you by sending them long messages. You don't make them regret it by begging, proving, or performing. You make them regret losing you by becoming everything they'll never have access to again. Epictetus once said, "If someone can control your emotions, they control you. And if they left, let them. But don't chase, don't collapse, don't ask why. Because the real power lies in what you do after they're gone. This isn't about pretending, it's about reclaiming your worth, reclaiming your silence, reclaiming your time, your value, and your future." So today, I'm giving you 8 moves, 8 stoic, unstoppable, unshakable transformations that will make them regret walking away faster than they ever expected. But this isn't about making them feel bad. It's about making yourself unstoppable. And before we dive in, I want you to comment this affirmation right now. I will become unforgettable, not by force, but by becoming my best self. Let's get into it. Number 1. Go silent but go strong. When someone leaves you, the first reaction is noise. You want to speak, you want to scream, you want to prove your worth. But here's the truth. Power isn't proven through noise. It's proven through silence. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is mastery. Because when you go silent, truly silent, not passive-aggressively, not hoping they'll chase you, but deeply, consciously silent, you give their mind space to spiral, to wonder, to question, and that is where regret begins. Psychologically, silence after emotional connection creates cognitive dissonance. They expect you to chase, beg, react. When you don't, their brain looks for the pattern. But the pattern is broken. You've detached. You've removed yourself from the chaos. You've chosen peace over performance. And this is exactly what Stoic philosophy teaches us. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." That means don't retaliate. Don't collapse. Don't respond in weakness. Instead, rise in silence. Use the distance not to stalk their updates, but to strengthen your foundation. Go to the gym. Start journaling. Build your craft. Level up your finances. Take care of your body. Read what sharpens your mind. Study what elevates your soul. Let your absence become a mirror, and when they look into it, let them see what they can never touch again. Silence is strategy. It makes them feel the absence of your energy, and people never regret you when you're yelling. They regret you when you're gone. Drop this in the comments if you're choosing power over noise. My silence is my strength. I don't need to be loud to be unforgettable. Number 2, detach emotionally, reclaim mentally. The moment you emotionally detach is the moment they feel the shift. Why? Because energy doesn't lie. When someone loses access to your emotional reactions, they start to question their control over you. This isn't about being cold. It's about becoming calm. When you no longer respond to their silence with sadness, when you stop checking your phone for their name, when their validation no longer defines your day, they feel that pull break. And that's when regret begins. The human brain is wired to notice what disappears suddenly, what breaks a pattern. Your silence is step one, but your emotional detachment, that's the knife. Stoicism teaches us that external events don't disturb us. It's our judgment of them. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So if someone leaves, that's the event. But your reaction, that's where your power lives. Don't tell them how you feel. Show them how little control they now have over your peace. Detachment doesn't mean you never cared. It means you care more about your peace than their confusion. It means you've upgraded your focus. You now see their presence or absence as neutral, not necessary. And when you stop orbiting around them, you force them to feel the weight of your absence in full gravity. The more you detach, the more their memory of you becomes distorted by regret, because they no longer get to rewrite the narrative through contact. They're stuck watching you grow from a distance, without access. That's how you win, by not playing their emotional game. You don't make them regret losing you by hurting. You make them regret it by healing. Number 3. Become unreachable by becoming unrecognizable. The fastest way to make someone regret losing you is to evolve into someone they can't recognize, someone whose energy they no longer qualify for. Most people expect you to stay the same version they walked away from. They remember your weakness, your chasing, your emotional dependence. So when you become unrecognizable, mentally, physically, emotionally, it shocks them. And that shock, that's the first wave of regret. But here's what folk never understand. Growth isn't just about success, it's about energy. When your energy shifts from desperate to grounded, from needy to noble, from reactive to calm, everything about you starts vibrating differently. You don't even have to say a word. The universe starts reflecting your shift. People look at you differently. Opportunities find you. And the person who lost you starts realizing they didn't lose someone average. They lost someone becoming rare. Stoic philosophy is rooted in transformation of self. As Seneca said, "You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire." That means most people stay frozen in pain, afraid to change, afraid to grow. But you rise, you build, you evolve with urgency as if time is precious, because it is. Every moment you invest in yourself after heartbreak adds weight to their loss. Hit the gym, not to look good for them, but to feel good in your own skin. Build a skill. Launch that side project. Clean up your finances. Upgrade your mindset. Read books that elevate your soul. Walk like you carry purpose now. Speak with fewer words, but with more meaning. Post online with power, not thirst, not revenge, but quiet proof that you are no longer the person who begged for crumbs. Because regret doesn't come when you're stuck in the same place they left you. It comes when they see you've elevated and realize they can't come with you. The more unrecognizable you become, the more unreachable you appear. And the more unreachable you are, the more they feel the sting of losing access. That's what makes them spiral, not your pain, but your progress. Number 4, rebuild your value system without them in it. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to move on is because they never updated their internal value system. They still place the same person who ghosted them, betrayed them, disrespected them at the center of their self-worth. And as long as that person sits on the throne of your internal world, you'll remain a prisoner to their absence. To make someone regret losing you, you must rebuild your value system without them in the blueprint. That means your self-worth no longer relies on their approval, their attention, or their validation. It means you stop making them the reference point for your happiness and start making your own peace the priority. When you remove someone from the center of your identity and replace them with purpose, clarity, and alignment, your entire vibration changes. You no longer act out of lack. You act out of direction. You no longer chase closure. You create completion. And that's the kind of growth they never expect. Stoicism is all about choosing internal stability over external chaos. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So ask yourself, are your thoughts still orbiting around someone who let you go? Or are they anchored in your mission, your self-respect, and your forward motion? The more your inner world becomes self-directed, the less they control your peace. And when you stop assigning value to someone who undervalued you, you create the perfect storm for regret to hit them hard. Because now, you're not just healing, you're reprogramming your worth. You're showing the universe that you're no longer for sale to the lowest bidder, that your love is sacred, that your time is expensive, that your energy isn't available to just anyone who decides to come back. You rebuild your value system by saying no to the old triggers, by walking away from chaos without drama, by protecting your focus like it's your life, because in many ways, it is. The moment you shift your foundation from "I hope they come back" to "I hope I never need them again," is the moment their regret begins. Number 5. Use the pain as fuel, not a cage. Pain is inevitable, but staying stuck in it is a decision. Most people wear their pain like a prison. They replay what happened, recycle the conversations, relive the betrayal. And while the other person moves on, they stay locked in the past, hoping time will do the healing. But Stoics didn't believe in passive healing. They believed in active transformation. They believed that pain isn't here to break you. It's here to build you. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." So the question is, what are you doing with your pain? Are you using it to stay small, or are you using it to become undeniable? If someone left you, good. Let it hurt. Let it burn. But then use that fire to light up every corner of your life they never touched. That pain, it's your new fuel. Every early morning workout, every late night grind, every time you level up in silence, you turned that pain into power. Because here's the truth, they'll regret losing you fastest when they see that what was meant to destroy you became your biggest upgrade. They expected you to fall apart. Instead, you rebuilt from the rubble, stronger, wiser, and more focused than ever. Don't let your emotions be your cage. Let them be your call to rise. You're not meant to be broken forever. You're meant to turn that heartbreak into hunger. Let it sharpen you. Let it humble you. Let it teach you who you are when there's no one left to catch you. Because that version of you, the one who kept going when everything hurt, is the version they'll never be able to replace. So, no, you don't need closure. You don't need another conversation. You need vision, discipline, a mission so powerful you don't have time to chase what left you behind. Turn your pain into proof, into presence, into a level of success and peace that they'll never be able to interrupt again. Number 6, master the art of indifference. If you really want to make someone regret losing you, don't hate them, don't stalk them, don't block them for attention and unblock them for hope. Just become indifferent, not out of pride but out of principle, because indifference is the highest form of power. It says, "I am no longer emotionally invested in what doesn't serve me." And that shift? It shakes them more than tears ever could. Most people confuse indifference with being cold. But true Stoic indifference isn't about being heartless. It's about being centered. You're no longer reactive. You don't rise and fall with their actions. You've detached from the outcome, and that scares people who used to thrive on your emotional availability. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." That means their return, their opinion, their regret. It's all outside your control. So you stop focusing on it, and in doing so, you gain complete emotional freedom. Here's the truth. Indifference makes your presence expensive. It removes you from the emotional chess game they're used to playing. You're no longer baited by their random texts, stories, or emotional traps. You're not watching. You're not waiting. You've moved into a new arena, one where peace leads, not obsession. And the moment they realize they can't affect you anymore, regret creeps in. They'll test you with messages, with curiosity, with indirect jabs. Don't react. Indifference doesn't mean you don't care. It means you've prioritized your inner peace over external drama. You no longer need answers. You've become the answer. Calm, powerful, untouchable. The version of you they knew is gone. And what replaced it is someone they can't access, because you're not triggered anymore. You're tuned in to your path, your purpose, your principles. This is what they never expected. For you to stop chasing, not out of ego, but out of evolution. You've reached the place where their attention no longer matters. And that's the deepest regret. They lost someone who no longer looks back. Number 7. Let your absence become the lesson. If there's one thing that makes someone regret losing you fast, it's not your words, your anger, or even your silence. It's your absence, not a passive absence filled with waiting, but an active absence filled with progress, discipline, and glow. Your absence must feel like a consequence, not a phase. When you truly pull back, not to punish, but to protect your peace, you force them to face what life feels like without your presence, your support, your energy. And that void, that becomes the lesson. Most people think they need closure, but here's the truth. Closure is rarely a conversation. Closure is a revelation that you no longer owe your presence to someone who treated it like it was disposable. And when you remove yourself, fully and unapologetically, that's when reflection kicks in for them. They start to realize that love isn't guaranteed, that access to your soul was a privilege, and they fumbled it. This is what Stoicism teaches us. Detach from the outcome, but never from your integrity. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That means don't tell them what they lost. Don't argue for your worth. Show them by never looking back, by leveling up so consistently that their memory of you becomes outdated. Your absence must become a standard, a quiet reminder that you will never again be taken for granted. When they see you living, thriving, smiling, not bitter, not waiting, not lurking, they'll feel the loss like an echo in every part of their life where you once existed. That's how you leave a mark that hurts more than any argument ever could. And here's the final truth. The version of you who begged, explained, and waited no longer exists. Let them grieve that person in silence, while you keep rising in purpose, peace, and power. Live so fully. They can't be part of the story anymore. The most powerful regret doesn't come when they see you sad. It comes when they see you fulfilled. When they realize your life has expanded so beautifully that there's no more room for them in the story. Not out of hatred, not out of revenge, but because your growth took you so far, they're no longer aligned with your new reality. This is how you close a chapter, with joy, with self-respect, with silent success. Most people think showing someone what they lost means flaunting material wins. But true regret comes when your energy shifts, when you stop reacting, when you stop checking, when you stop hoping. And instead, you wake up each day building a life you don't need to escape from. That's the heartbreak they never saw coming, watching you fall in love with your own life. Stoicism reminds us to live with purpose, not permission. As Seneca said, begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. That means you stop wasting time in nostalgia. You stop living in conversations that already ended. You stop letting people occupy space in your mind who walked out of your life. You start today. You build from where you stand. You create a life that's not only healed, but inspiring. You travel, you learn, you create, you connect. You find peace in places you never searched before. You write new stories with new people. And the best part? You do it all without announcing it, without throwing it in their face. Because when you're really fulfilled, you don't need validation. You radiate it, and that radiation burns. It makes them realize they no longer have a role in your life, not because you're angry, but because you outgrew the version of you who needed them. You win by moving forward so gracefully, so fully that they look back and can't even find a space to fit into anymore. If you've made it this far, you already know. The goal isn't to hurt them. It's not to get revenge. It's not even to wait around for their regret. The goal is to outgrow the version of you who tolerated less than you deserved. That's the true win. Not their apology, not their return, but your evolution. You've learned the principles. You've felt the truth. You've seen how your silence, your growth, your detachment becomes the most powerful mirror they'll ever face. You don't need to convince them you were valuable. You just need to become so valuable, so grounded, so fulfilled, that they realize it far too late. And remember what the Stoics taught us. It's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters. That's your power now. Your response isn't a text back. It's a better life. It's peace over chaos, presence over performance, real confidence, not fake validation. You win when you stop hoping for closure and start living like the door has already closed. So let this video be a turning point for you, a decision, a declaration that you're done shrinking, that your worth no longer depends on who stays or who leaves. You've taken the pain, you've taken the silence, and you've turned it into strength. If this video gave you clarity, strength, or even a spark of motivation, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Subscribe. Join this tribe of people who are done with the noise and committed to the rise. This is just the beginning of your next chapter, and you don't need anyone's permission to live it loud. Take your power back. Live like they never thought you could, and let their silence echo with the sound of your success. I'll see you in the next video. Keep rising.